Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Agent Psycho, aka ToeSniper98. Welcome back to another month of Whales Log, Dolphins Log, whatever you want to call it, for Star Rail, month of April 2024. So, let's check it out. Let's check out what my progress has been. So obviously the last new characters were Acheron and Gallagher. Start with Acheron first, of course, as usual. So, this is what my Acheron's built like for now. Just under 3k HP. I think since I've been doing account reviews lately, I've been able to compare my Acheron with a lot of other people's, because obviously Acheron is the flavor of the month right now, and she will be for quite some time. So it seems like around 3k is about the average HP that Acheron should have. I think the highest HP that I've seen an Acheron have is like 3,400 maybe? That was pretty high. So yeah, right around 3,000 is where you want to be for Acheron. So if she's under 3k, I don't think you should worry too much. Just be aware that, you know, DPSs, even though DPSs are meant to be low HP in Star Rail, there are some bosses, like, for example, the meme boss from Penacony, the big alien-looking dude. Especially in MOC, I think, he can do a lot of damage. So if he happens to target your Acheron with those really fast, like, stab attack, he might actually one-shot Acheron if she's low enough. I've had that happen to some of my lower HP characters before. That kind of frustrated me, but... so yeah, just keep an eye out. Make sure that your Acheron is always topped off on HP whenever you're fighting certain enemies. But yeah, that's fine. 3,500 attack. I think my Acheron is actually a little bit higher than average in terms of attack rating. I think I've seen Acherons float anywhere from like 3,200 to 3,400, something like that. So that's pretty good, in my opinion. My Acheron's is decently fast. I think 137 is okay. I think she could definitely be faster depending on how many speed stats she ends up getting. I've definitely seen other Acherons have like only 125 speed or 126 speed. Like literally, the only speed she's getting is from her boots. So I would say that my Acheron got pretty lucky with speed stats to get her to what, like 137. And finally, most importantly, crit rate 45% between her relic sets, giving her +8 from 4-piece Pioneer, almost said Penacony, and then 2-piece Izumo Gensei. She should get another 20%. So in reality, she's getting at least 65%, along with 220% crit damage. When I was doing Acheron, or not specifically Acheron, but when I was doing account reviews recently, I was told that Acheron actually does an insane amount of damage for how little crit damage she has. So it seems to me that ideally you actually want to give Acheron more crit rate just to guarantee that she crits in the first place. And then her crit damage, while yeah, obviously more crit damage is important, it's not as high priority as her crit rate. Because again, she just wants to be able to crit in the first place, and then her own like built-in damage modifiers will take care of the rest for the most part. So I am debating to myself, trying to pick up like a crit rate body piece. I mean, technically I already have one here, but it's really crap. So maybe I'll look for like maybe I'll try to farm for a better crit rate body piece later. It's not a high priority right now, just because I feel like my Acheron currently is already really good. She gets the job done she more than gets the job done for me. So yeah, I don't feel an urgent need to switch her out to a crit rate body just yet. But that being said, I am considering it because apparently that's what that's kind of her gearing meta at the moment. Just get her crit rate as high as possible, and then think about crit damage afterwards. So, we'll see. I'm curious to see what you guys' comments, or I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments. And of course, I've got her light cone, naturally. By the way, in case this hasn't been said enough yet, her light cone is the best light cone in the game. At least as far as, like, the best in terms of who it's meant for. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Acheron is the best DPS character in the game now. With her own light cone. If she doesn't have her own light cone, she's about the same power level as, like, I'd say Blade or Jingliu maybe, depending on how well she's geared. The reason for this because thanks to Acheron's like non-standard energy gain, where she doesn't have a proper energy system like all the other characters in the game do, but instead she runs off her own proprietary energy gain system. Or like, oh, you attack enemies with debuffs or something, or you put debuffs on enemies and she gains stacks for her ultimate. Because her light cone allows her to stack her own debuff onto enemies, it basically like increases her energy gain by like, I don't know, like a solid 30 or 40%, something insane like that. Just basically think about her light cone as having a free energy regen rope tied to it, or like 2 of them maybe, and then that's how good it is. And you get to run her with attack percent rope, because obviously energy regen rope on her naturally isn't useful. Like it's useless. So yeah, that's how good I think her light cone is. I think that's a lot of what a lot of people are saying as well. So if you have Acheron but don't have her light cone yet, and you don't mind risking some more Stellar Jades on light cone banner, do highly consider picking up a copy of her gacha light cone. And of course, naturally, she's all max traced out. And, you know, the standard 4-piece Izumo Gensei with 2-piece, or 4-piece Pioneer with 2-piece Izumo Gensei. Currently, my Acheron is only E0. I was thinking about I was entertaining the possibility of getting my Acheron to E2, but then after seeing her performance at E0 with her light cone, I don't feel the need to get her to E2. Partly because I am broke. So, yeah, I don't feel like spending money right now. Unless things change in the future, which they could, but I won't say anything yet. At the moment, my Acheron will remain at E0 S1, because that's more than enough, it seems like. That's just how busted she is. So, yeah, that is my Acheron. Of course, the detailed stats here, in case you guys are interested. A little bit of break effect, a little bit of EHR, but she doesn't care about HR. A little bit of effect res, but again, doesn't really matter on her. At least I don't think so. And as for the specific stats, here you go. She got a really good headpiece here, double crit. Decent handpiece. It did roll double crit, but like it rolled like twice or 3 times into break effect, so that's unfortunate. Could have gotten more out of this for sure, but it's the best one I have right now. Speed boots, these are actually pretty decent. This is actually pretty decent because it at least rolled a couple times in the crit rate, and it has a little bit of attack percent to go with that too. Obviously, it could be better, but... Anyway, this is currently her crit damage body, and again, it does give her a lot of speed, so honestly, I'm not sure if I really want to switch this out. But then again, Acheron probably doesn't care too much about speed, because you're going to be using her with like somebody like Bronya or somebody else anyway, so... but yeah, I will keep in mind the possibility of switching her over to crit rate body instead. This is her rope, double crit, really good rope actually for her. And then finally her attack percent planar. I think I got this pretty recently, and yeah, speed and crit rate. It rolled I think once into speed and then once into crit rate. Obviously the rolls could have been better, but I mean, considering how hard it is to farm a proper planar, I think I'll take this for now. And hopefully later I'll be able to pick up a better one. Okay, that's Acheron. Now let's look over to Gallagher, Mr. Gallagher here. I've been looking forward to Mr. Gallagher quite a bit. Unlike a lot of people, simply because he's our first fire healer, and considering I'm a big sucker for healers, because you know, I'm your typical heal slut in your other games, in your other like class-based competitive shooter games. Mainly because nobody else knows how to be a proper heal slut themselves. Because to be fair, why would anyone want to? In any case, I have an appreciation, a soft spot for all the healers, and Gallagher is fire, and fire is my favorite element, at least IRL. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this dude. That he's fucking cool. Just look at him. Anyways, this is how I've built him. 5,000 HP. Attack and defense don't really matter. He's a healer. 125 speed. I think he's pretty slow by default. Obviously, he does have speed boots. Crit stats, again, don't really matter. Extended stats here. 180% break effect. I believe Gallagher's... Gallagher, if you didn't know already, scales off of break effect. His healing, and... Yeah, his healing, mainly. So ideally, you want to get him as high break effect as possible. The minimum threshold is 150 because one of his bonus abilities basically says, oh yeah, basically give him 150% break effect to max out this bonus ability's effect. Stuff like that. Just think of it like Black Swan's bonus ability where she wants to have 120% EHR to max out her bonus ability's effect. Something like that. Maybe I'll go into it in more detail when we take a look at his traces, but... yeah, my Gallagher clears that very easily with 180% over 150. He's got the healing boost effect as main stat for his body. That's why he has 34%. Let's see. No energy regen because he scales off break effect. He ideally wants break effect. What is it? Break effect rope. I suppose if you can get him like enough break effect from his substats, you could actually run him with energy regen rope. If he still has 150% break effect, actually, I'm gonna have to check how much break effect the rope gives him as main stat, and see how much more break effect I would need to get Gallagher to still have 150% break effect on top of that. But I'll check that later. A little bit of EHR. EHR doesn't matter on him. It's not like he puts debuffs on anybody. But he does have 78% effect res. I specifically went for break effect and effect res stats, and I think he got really lucky and rolled a ton of effect res off his relics. So I'm really proud of this one, actually. You ideally want a lot of effect res on your characters, especially on your sustains, because if they get stun locked or if they get CC'd and you can't heal anybody, then yeah, that kind of sucks. So yeah. I like having my sustains with as much effect res as possible. And Gallagher is no exception. In any case, Light Cone, I mean, Gallagher is very easy to gear. Like, this Light Cone, what is real, is the free abundance one from MOC Shop. So you can buy this and get this to S5 easily, and this gives him a ton of break effect, which is exactly what he needs. And I mean, it has him on it, so it's meant for him, right? After using basic attack, restores HP for the user by amount of blah 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 for his. It restores HP for himself. I would have liked this to be like team-wide HP, but you know, it works. It doesn't matter too much. It kind of does. Yeah, it would have been much better if it were a team-wide heal instead of just for himself. But at the same time, this is probably his best Light Cone, his best free-to-play Light Cone. Maybe he works really well with like a 5-star Light Cone here somewhere. I don't know. Actually, probably not, because obviously Bailu and Luocha do not scale off break effect, whereas Gallagher does. So maybe this is his best Light Cone after all. And then he's almost max trace out. Obviously, his last trace level ups require Tracks of Destiny, and I don't want to commit to that just yet. But let's see. I think it's his yeah, his second bonus ability here increases Gallagher's outgoing healing amount by equal to half of his break effect, maximum of 75%. So yeah, he wants ideally at least 150% break effect. So get to it, I guess. And so for his relics, he's running 4-piece Thief, because Thief set gives him additional break effect. And because Gallagher has an offensive ultimate, I don't think he can I don't think he can run Watchmaker, I'm pretty sure. Whereas a Watchmaker set, or piece rather. Yeah, because Gallagher has an offensive ult, and so that means he can't use his ult on an ally, obviously. So Watchmaker set is obviously useless on him, so you kind of have to go with the old school 4-piece Thief. And yeah. And Gallagher having an AoE ultimate, obviously he can break a lot of enemies, especially these smaller enemies. So ideally, if you're up against if you're in a battle where you have a lot of like smaller, weaker enemies like ads, yeah, leave them for Gallagher to like slash him with his ultimate, so that way he can generate more energy off that. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So 4-piece Thief and a 2-piece Broken Keel for the additional crit damage and the extra effect res. Very nice. Enhanced stats or in-depth stats. So yeah, as you can see here, effect res, break effect, a little bit of defense percent. Doesn't hurt because again he's a sustained character. Hand piece. Let's see, effect res, break effect. Once again. Outgoing healing boost. This one didn't roll any break effect or break effect or effect res, but Does have a little bit of HP, a little bit of defense, a little bit of speed. Honestly, I could try looking for a replacement outgoing healing boost main stat body, and try to look for either a break effect, like one that has at least break effect. Yeah, at least something that has break effect. So that way, when we if I try to replace his rope, which is 64%, gosh, this is giving me quite a bit. Okay. If I want to replace this with an energy regen rope, it has to roll break effect as a substat and roll a ton into it, I think. Yeah, because this is quite a bit. Because what is it? My Gallagher currently has 180%, and this is 64. So he'll drop all the way down to like 116%, 115%. So yeah, he's gonna have to make up for. I'm gonna have to find him a lot of extra break effect then, because yeah, I'd have to make up for like at least 35%'s worth, something like that. I think it is doable. Yeah, it should be, because I can just look for better speed boots that have break effect. Yeah, because several of his relics don't even have any break effect at all. His speed boots, for example, obviously his outgoing healing boost, and of course when I try to roll for a proper energy regen rope, I could look for break effect there. Let's see if his planar has any. No, actually this one doesn't have any break effect either. So yeah, there is admittedly a lot of room to get him more break effect from his substats. So yeah, I think ideally for Gallagher, you run him a 4-piece thief, 2-piece broken keel, or whatever your preferred ornament set is, and then you just run you fish for break effect stats in every single relic. So that way, instead of running break effect rope, you can just run him with energy regen rope. So that way he gets his ultimate way faster. So I think that'd be the end game goal. But then again, if you just want to build him standard with break effect rope, that's fine too. I don't think Gallagher absolutely needs energy regen rope, at least not from my experience. I think he's completely fine with just standard break effect rope already. So if you want to run him with something like energy regen rope, you're definitely trying to maximize his ultimate break damage output. So, and that's not nothing, obviously. More damage you can get, the better. But it's not something you have to build him for. I'm just kind of throwing out ideas here because I really like Gallagher. So, unfortunately, my Gallagher's only E0. Yeah, barely E0. I would love if I could get him to E2, because E2 is where he unlocks his debuff cleanse. And so yeah, that'd be quite nice. Not only that, but he even gives whoever he gives his skill to, or he uses his skill on, 30% extra effect res, and that's not nothing either. That's actually quite a bit. So like almost a 1/3 chance for them to resist a debuff coming in. Like, that's pretty good. So, and not only that, just his E1 is also insane too, just because he gets 50% extra effect res, which would mean my Gallagher would have 120% effect res. So yeah, goodbye debuffs. That'd be nice to get. That'd be nice to have. I think from the pick a free 4-star from the current event, I will pick Gallagher, because I think everybody else I don't really care about. Either because I already have them E6, or I just prefer getting another Constellation or Constellation Suspension Eidolon for Gallagher. So, anyways, yeah, that's how I've built my Gallagher, in case you guys are interested. And yeah, he's a fantastic healer. People have been calling him basically sort of like a mini Luocha, but actually even better than Luocha in certain ways, and I'd have to agree. Yeah, with all this healing he's got, because I think his best, in case you guys haven't used Gallagher yet, his best healing is his skill, because instead of most healers' heals, where they have to scale off their HP or something, Gallagher is just a flat amount. And so this is actually insane, because now with how he's built, I've seen him heal with his skill for 3,000 HP, which means that he's insta healing, he's full healing your DPSs, or some of my lower HP like supports or something. And for even for my higher HP characters, that's a huge chunk of health that he's giving them. So that's insane. And I really like that. So yeah, strongly consider. Oops, Jingly's having a moment again. Strongly consider investing into your Gallagher if you haven't gotten either a second healer yet, or you feel like you need a better healer instead of just Natasha or somebody. So yeah, I can vouch for this dude. In any case, other than those two, not sure if I've really worked on anybody else's kits as of now. I will say though that the reason why you found me here in front of here is because I am currently farming for better speed pieces for my Sparkle. Because at the moment, I really want to speed tune my Sparkle and try to get her some pieces that have both speed and crit damage. While also keeping her on 4-piece speed. I'm aware that Sparkle doesn't really need 4-piece speed. Like all she needs is just 2-piece for the speed for the speed bonus, and then you can just give her like 2 off pieces if you really want to. I'm actually probably going to do that eventually, but in the meantime, I'm also farming for potentially better speed pieces, because if you can keep her on 4-piece speed, why not, right? So. But yeah, I'll try to take a look at her pieces. Like for example, I don't think I'm gonna change this. I think this piece is pretty good as is. I suppose I could change her arm piece or hand piece or whatever you want to call this. Because yeah, while it does have crit damage, it doesn't have too much. And of course, I could look for something that has both speed and crit damage. And then here I could maybe look for a crit damage main body that also has speed on it. Speed and maybe a little bit of effect res too to go with that. And then here's speed but no crit damage. Yeah, so I could definitely replace 2 of these pieces for some better ones, as long as it's not the head piece here, because the head piece is already pretty decent. But obviously trying to look for better broken keel pieces is going to be kind of a challenge, so yeah. As you can see here, my Sparkle isn't exactly the greatest. I mean, she does have 200% crit damage, which is nice, but yeah, her speed leaves something to be desired for sure. So, I mean, even as is, she still does a ton of work already. So, but yeah, considering I use her with Jingliu a lot. Actually, I've already changed my Jingliu over to what is it, attack percent boots, I think. Yeah, attack percent boots, because now he's on 4-piece follow-up set, as he should be, so. But yeah, obviously the faster Sparkle can be, the better. And I'm working on that slowly but surely. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode, or this month's Wales log for Star Rail. Pretty sure I don't really have anything else to say. I'm still working on... I still plan on getting Ruin Mei, speaking of which. Ruin Mei, her proper Watchmaker set, because obviously Watchmaker is more suited for her. So whenever I get that done, or whenever I'm done speed tuning Sparkle, I think I'll work on Ruin Mei next, I'm pretty sure. Or at least I think I will. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you guys next month. Peace.